President-elect Donald Trump moves into his second term. He is doubling down on American dominance in the Gulf of Mexico, vowing to reverse some last-minute efforts from President Biden that could actually have some lasting effects in Louisiana. We're talking about everything from drill baby drill to a possible name change for the Gulf of Mexico. Liam Combs is here tonight. Liam, good evening. So these changes, of course, have a lot of support in Louisiana, but they might not be as simple as some say.
Greg, you got that right. President-elect Donald Trump is hoping to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. You've probably heard that yesterday. But the proposal has some mixed reviews from lawmakers on Louisiana's coastline. In the 11th hour of his presidency, Joe Biden signing an executive order that bans future oil and gas development in more than 620 miles of federal waters off of our coast, about 20% of U.S.-controlled seabed, a final stamp of his environmental policy. The move drawing criticism from Louisiana lawmakers whose districts rely on this industry.
Every time we have a hurricane and we're unable to have our normal daily access to Port Fourchon, it's basically a $500 million hit on the nation's GDP.
The Gulf of Mexico produces nearly 15% of the nation's oil. And although the ban doesn't apply to central and western parts of the Gulf, Orgeron says it all plays a part of the local and national economy. And yesterday, President-elect Donald Trump said not so fast.
I will reverse it immediately. It'll be done immediately. And we will drill, baby, drill.
But it'll take more than just a wave of a pen. Biden's executive order invokes the 1953 Outer Continental Shelf Lands Act, meaning the president-elect would need an act of Congress to reverse it. And Trump doubling down on his bullish energy policy with a name change for the Gulf of Mexico.
It's sort of the opposite of Biden, where he's closing everything up, essentially getting rid of $50 to $60 trillion worth of assets. We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Well, is it posturing or policy? The verdict is still out.
The art of the deal, he likes to throw out a few things to put whoever he's negotiating with into a mind state of how bad it could be, and then basically draws back and works them over in a negotiation technique. And I think this is part of that ploy.
New Orleans Representative Mandy Landry says she's seen it all before.
To me, it's the latest in a culture war proposal, similar to other anti-immigrant, comments. This idea to rename a large body of water that is not owned by the country is completely ridiculous.
It turns out this change isn't easily made as well. A public policy consultant points out that it takes Congress and the U.S. Board on Geographic Names to get it done.
It does not have the authority under federal law to simply change names willy-nilly. And if you think about that from a public policy perspective, it makes sense. We wouldn't want every president to be able to rename every geographic feature in the United States of America. This is obviously a really often cited, often drawn, often referred to body of water that borders the United States of America. So changing that in every official government document is probably going to come with a rather large price tag.
So a lot of perspectives there on the topic. The president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, today firing back at Trump's proposal, saying the name is already recognized internationally. But she did have a compromise, suggesting we call the Gulf Mexican Americana instead, or Americana Mexicana instead. In Baton Rouge, for WAP 9 News, Liam Combs.
All right, Liam, plenty of stuff there.